Welcome to another segment in the file signature analysis in the digital forensics series. In this segment, we'll take a look at how to analyze files using their signatures and identify the appropriate file type that the file originally was, irrespective of the file extension. File signature analysis will be covered in over 3 segments. You're currently watching the second segment. I'll highly recommend you watch the first segment before watching this one. I'll leave a link to that down in the video description. Watching my first video will give you a more in-depth understanding of how and why we conduct this type of analysis. So we're given a group of files which are deemed inaccessible or are corrupted. We think this is done intentionally as it's part of a criminal investigation, and we're tasked to analyze what the contents of each file are. In this segment we have 4 files. And we can see that my file view setting in Windows is set to show file name extensions, and we can see that the type of file is registering as just a file and nothing else. So we have to figure out how to open these files and to analyze the contents. So I'll be using hex editor. I'm using HXD as my hex editor, and it's version 2.3.0.0, and I'm going to be using this particular website, and I'll leave a link to the hex editor and this website in the description below. This person has clearly got a really good collection of file signatures, headers, and trailers. So I'll be using this particular website to figure out the what those files actually are considered to be, because file signatures, you need to consider 2 things when you're analyzing file signatures. You need to consider a header and a trailer, and these headers and trailers are unique identifiers of the file signature and will aid you in figuring out the extension which could lead to accessing of the file. So I'm going to open up our first file in the hex editor, and let's see if we can go through this together. So once we have our first file open with the hex editor, we copy some starting bytes, and I'm actually gonna copy all these files over to a spare folder so that way I'm not manipulating any of the originals. And I've opened file number 5 right now. Yep, file 5, and we copy the first starting bytes, and 2 hexadecimal digits are equivalent to 1 byte. So I'm copying this many, and I'm going to go over to my website, and I'm going to use the find function. I'm just pressing Control F, and I'm going to paste the bytes in. And now there is no fine line between how many bytes to copy, as file signatures could be 2 bytes long up to 10 bytes long, but let's copy the most, as this method works efficiently for me from experience. And I was hoping that this would happen. Notice that we didn't find a result straight away. There's no result for this many bytes copied, and there's no signature. But that's fine. So all we have to do is just use the backspace method, where we're backspacing and deleting the length. So we're shortening down the length to see if one of the lengths actually get a match. And one of them, that particular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bytes array, that string gets a match to that particular extension. So this is my output folder. So this is where I copied all my originals. I'll actually close this. I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to rename the first file. It says KOZ is the extension. It's an ID3 file. But because it's a music file, I'm just going to name it an MP3. Give it an MP3 extension. And I'm going to try opening it with VLC Media Player. Let's see what it does. And as you can see, that this is the THX intro that is playing currently, and so now we know what this particular file contains. That is a music file, and it's containing the THX intro. So moving along to the second file, file 6. I'm going to copy again a large set of bytes, paste them in to my website, and use the backspace method. So it was 1, and this is coming up again to be a Windows Microsoft Windows Media Audio or video file. So I'm gonna make 2 copies of these files actually, and I'm gonna name one WMV and I'm gonna name the other WMA, and see if oh, it's another music file, and it is 2 megabytes. Maybe it is just a song, but we'll see if the video file plays a video version. No, I think it's 2 megabytes only because this particular file is 2 minutes long. But as we can see, that this again is another music file that is playing. Cool. So then we're gonna move on to file 7. Copy the bytes, paste it in, use the backspace method, and we get a match. And this is showing up as a GIF file. Now, Windows sometimes may not open this. Oh no, register is with the photo view. Perfect. And it's not showing anything. Okay. Oh, it's giving me an error. It's saying that particular error code. Sometimes GIF files don't work with Views or Paint or something like that, but what they do work with is Internet Explorer or any sort of web browser, because web browsers are meant to handle GIFs. Oh, there we go. But it's not a moving picture. It's more of a still. It's a comic. Okay, so that's what we found out in file number 7. And then file number 8. Copying and pasting, and then using the backspace method. There we go, we found one, and this is showing up as a PDF file. It's an Adobe, and I want to show you guys something because I couldn't before in the other file types. So I want to show you that this particular one actually has trailer examples as well. These are the known trailers to open up a PDF, but the header remains the same. The header is 2550 4446, but the trailer, we can see that it's the third one, I believe. Full stop, percentage, EOF, full stop, which is that one there. And the data does match. ODOA 2525 45 4F 46 0D0A. And you can see that this cannot go wrong. Even if we were to name this as a .text, I'm going to name it as a .text, and I'm going to see if I can open it. Nothing, it does it just opens up as gibberish because it's not being able to read it. This particular file type is a different file, and the Notepad application is not being able to handle that data within that file, within that container. So if I even try to drag this and drop it, notice that it's still it's retaining its PDF headers and also the PDF the file footers, trailers, sorry. And that's what clarifies to us that Windows only handles the file name extensions by what application that particular file can open with is determined by the extension only. And in Windows, that particular extension is associated with a particular application, and only that application can handle that particular file type. So if I were to open it with Internet Explorer, it should open perfectly. Oh, I had Adobe. I don't know. I had it installed. I'll open it with Edge anyway, it's a lot faster. Oh, there you go. And it's showing us a piece of text, and I'm going to highlight and see if I can highlight everything else on the page just to see if there's any white text on white paper, which could potentially be hidden data, but there isn't. So that's what's contained within that PDF. So now we just present this back to our investigation team, and then they'll handle the situation from here to clarify that we can access these files, and these are the respective file types. And then you can rule out if there's any other information contained within these files. For this particular file signature analysis, this is all you need to conduct. So that brings us to the end of our segment. Hope you are being able to follow along and see how this analysis is taking place. And I also hope that I'm explaining everything as I go and I'm not missing anything out. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel to be updated about more videos such as these. Comment if you have any opinions or questions, and either me or the community will aid you with your request. And I will see you in the next segment of the digital forensics file signature analysis.